It's the Trash Player League. Let's get it. Hello and good evening. Welcome to FLCN. I'm your host, Mark Coles, and I'm with my co-host, Shawn Williams. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Just excited for football.
Yeah, there's nothing else but to be excited for football because we are finally here. Man. After this long wait, 2 weeks, I guess, of no football after having the 3 preseason games. And now, 9-9. We're finally going to get to week 1 of football, Thursday night. And so with that being said, man, it's nothing else to do but get into the festivities of the week. All right. So last time we was with you guys, we covered the draft. If you were able to see that, cool. If you weren't, please check it out in the playlist for FLCN. You can watch the entire draft and listen to our commentary on the draft as well. And you can also see us look fairly sharp, if I do say so myself, you know.
You're very professional for the draft.
Yes, we tried to keep it professional for the draft, but now draft's over and professionalism went out the window. And it seems as though professionalism went right out the window as soon as the draft ended, because right after the draft ended, there was a little bit of shit talking going around. People had some things to say when the draft ended, and I just want to share some of that with you guys right now. So let me play this here for you. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, I'm really enjoying my week 1 matchup now. I really appreciate it.
Okay, that's how you feel? Okay.
Oh, yeah, tonight's team was trash. I looked at that shit the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck you were doing? Oh, that dude's a drunk, so you can't really expect that to
He's a drunk.
It's kind of interesting because I was looking at your team, Darius, and Coach's team side by side, and I was like, they picked very similarly going down, and I thought that was interesting. Because like when you picked a running back, he picked a running back. Like what? It was like that all the way up until like round 6 or something, where y'all just were picking the same positions in each round. So
I don't think I got better players than he did, but yeah, we picked the same positions though.
Yeah. So you
better players.
So you saying flat out that this nigga didn't do well? All right. Yeah.
Yo, Coach team is trash. Team is trash as fuck.
Who?
He got Justin Herbert, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Lockett. That's a whole lot of boom. He got Eckler. Then he got oh man, this team is trash.
Darius, real quick, how you feel about the fact that you got Coach week 1?
I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. I'm glad that's my first game.
I was able to catch up with Coach through the messenger and ask him a few questions to see how he felt about the way that people have been talking about him. Let's check that out now. I start with asking Coach, do you have any response for the naysayers that say your team is trash this year? Coach unflinchingly says, nah, this group is of N-words will get smoked and still call you trash. Tobias coughed and mentioned you, Shawn. Do you have anything to say about that?
Look, he need to talk to me after week 1. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh,
He need to talk to me after week 1.
okay.
Look, and let's just be honest here. Look, everybody else, they might talk all their shit, lose a game, and then disappear on you when it comes time to give props and all that shit after the game. Look, if you beat me, I'm still going to keep that same energy. I'm still going to be talking shit to you and calling you trash after you win. You're goddamn right, Tobias. That's my response to it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have me tucking my tail and disappearing in the group chat. That's not going to happen to me. I'm sorry.
Strong words. In response to Coach's relaxed response, I asked him, so are you saying these naysayers are just foreshadowing their doom by talking down on you? He laughed it off. He just said they just having fun, man. So he's dismissing it. He's not very worried. It seems like he's very relaxed in this situation. And see, he goes on to say, in response to Ricky calling his team really ass this year, he says, I see Ricky don't mean this. And so I asked him, I said, last question, are you aware of Darius Sanders' comments as well? And do you feel the same about his comments as you do Ricky's? He responds simply by saying, fuck Darius. You see it right away. The rivalry is already at foot between Darius and Coach. And I guess it's just perfect that the rivalry will be at foot already because it's rivalry week one, and a lot of teams are going up against each other that have a little bit of hatred for each other, a little bit of disdain for each other. So let's just start. Shawn, looks like you get Tobias right away.
Yeah, I will say this. If he's going to attempt to beat me, this is the best week for him because he doesn't have a chance outside of this week, Mark.
Ooh,
but
attempt to beat you.
He does not have a chance outside of this week.
All right.
He better hope like the best thing he has going for him is Tampa Bay is playing Dallas on Thursday. He better win this week, Mark. That's what I'm gonna say. He better win.
All right. Well, let's just take a look at the matchup, shall we? Shall we take a gander at the matchup? All right. So Lancelot versus Big Trust with a projected score of 141.74 to 138.76. Now, mind you, this is Tuesday, so the lineup may change. People may get injured, which would obviously affect the projected score. So looking at the lineups, like you said, this man has Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans all going on the same day. So simply, he's heavily invested in the Tampa Bay Bucks. So all his eggs seemingly is in one basket. This can either bode well for him or it could spell his doom. We talked about this in the draft, but so there's really no reason to reiterate more about how I don't like the strategy of it, but we'll see how it plays out for him. And but he does also have Aaron Jones, and if Saquon Barkley proves to be healthier than what it seems, you might be in some trouble. His defense does go against Kansas City this week, which isn't a good bet.
Does not bode well, Mark. Look. Let me explain why I believe I'm going to win. There's just a few things right here. Cleveland defense versus Kansas City. Enough said. Okay. Saquon Barkley not being healthy versus Denver defense. Enough said. We're talking about they should have a healthy Chubb and a healthy Von Miller. Okay, for the first time in a while. And to be honest with you, I don't like T. Higgins versus the Vikings. It is what it is. You know, I know how I feel about Mark Andrews, but he should be okay this week. But I really I'm saying he could have Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans do numbers, and he could still lose this week because of Cleveland's defense, T. Higgins and Barkley. I'm just saying he has some guys that have a possibility of giving him a very low floor.
Okay. Now, looking at your squad, I see you have Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Mike Davis, Ronald Jones, George Kittle, Corey Davis, and Brandon McManus. Colts defense. Now, you on a defensive front, you do go against Seattle. This may not bode well for you either. But
yes, that might not bode well for me, but Indianapolis might not even be my defense come this weekend. I'm just throwing that out there. Might not be. I might adjust my defense for this week just to make sure that I get the dub. You know, sometimes you just got to keep. Sometimes you got to keep the defense rolling. Understood.
And then you have Josh Allen. Josh Allen against Pittsburgh. That may not bode well for him. But there's also a chance that TJ Watt may not play this week because of contract disputes with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, and if that's the case, Josh Allen may be feeling a little less pressure this week.
Well, my sources told me a few weeks ago that they did it this way so that they could re-sign him, and that way he did not have to play the preseason and risk injury. So I don't know how true that is. We'll find out week 1. But supposedly he's supposed to get paid before the season starts. Hasn't gotten paid yet, so that's kind of a don't know about that. But either way, even if he shows up, Josh Allen, the reason why I drafted him, he will make it up on the ground or maybe with just a rushing touchdown. All I need is one rushing touchdown, Mark. That's all I need from him.
Right. And I really don't necessarily feel the need to discuss anybody else. George Kittle against Detroit is more than likely going to be a field day. And honestly, I don't necessarily like your running backs, but for this week, if I had to pick a winner out of this group, I'm just going to go ahead right here live on the screen. Live on the screen, I'm going to check Shawn and pick him as the winner for the week.
They're going to say you trying to support your boy. That's what they're going to say. That's what Tobias going to say.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know. I'm just looking at the numbers here. I like your odds. I like that.
I like my odds too, but we'll see.
All right. So moving right along, right into the next rivalry matchup. We just discussed the Labarticus Prime against King Foreigner. Now that's Darius versus Coach. So let's look at the matchups and see what's what. So right here already, we got Labarticus Prime at his projection is 139 points, 0.70, and King Foreigner is 138.14, with Labarticus being a favorite of 51% to 49. So this team is already pretty evenly matched. What do you got to say about the teams just looking at the lineups?
Ooh, just looking at the lineups, I would have to say, just lineup for lineup, man. I don't know. I feel like they're pretty even, just like the scores are saying here, predicted. But I feel like there's a couple of areas to where I would have to lean towards Coach on this. Coach, I like his quarterback better. I don't think the points there for the QB position are going to be that close. I think Justin Herbert will outscore Ryan Tannehill. They still have Derrick Henry on the team, right? Okay. CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, I feel like Hopkins wins that battle. Tyler Lockett versus Keenan Allen. Unfortunately, this is how it works. Tyler Lockett could have one of those games. This could be an even split. Then you have Eckler versus Derrick Henry, where you could have Eckler putting up more points than Derrick Henry.
Can you?
You could. Just off of catches alone, Mark. Just off of catches alone, you could. Eckler can get you 15 points without getting a touchdown.
Okay.
That's the real thing there. So then you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Josh Jacobs, which one is probably going to be in a timeshare, the other one's not. I definitely like Logan Thomas a little bit better than TJ Hawkinson, but let's be real, man. We don't know what either one of these guys are going to do, so that's a wash. Deebo Samuel versus Darrell Henderson. I think that there's a chance you'll get more out of Henderson than you will Deebo Samuel week 1. And then, you know, you got kickers and defense. Obviously, I have to edge New England defense, you know, on this one. But that's really where I think is going to be the defense might win the game. You got New England defense, who was probably going to eat versus Tua-led Miami Dolphins.
Well, let me stop you there, friend. Thank you for your input. But one thing that we do know is that whenever New England falters, there's only one team that they ever truly falter against, and that's the Miami Dolphins. So
see, that might be a fact, Mark, but if you go back and you look at it, typically when they do falter against them, they falter against them on the second meeting. Now, granted, this game will be played in Miami, so who the hell knows? But if I had to take a shot in the dark, I would say that New England's coming out swinging and winning game 1.
Okay, fair enough. Now, but I gotta disagree with you. I do not pick coach for this W. I actually picked Darius, simply off the standpoint of the fact that Tennessee is not going up against a very strong defense in Arizona, and if you're going to have a tandem of 2, then I would think the Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry tandem is the one that you want, because that means you're every touchdown that's coming to that team, you're getting that. If Derrick Henry runs it, that's your 6 points. If Ryan Tannehill throws it, that's your 6 points. If Ryan Tannehill decides to be selfish and run the ball in for the touchdown, that is still your 6 points. You're not losing out on your money with that particular tandem. So
good point. That's a good point.
And so I like it from that standpoint. And then you got DeAndre Hopkins, and usually DeAndre Hopkins in the first 4 weeks puts up ridiculous numbers. So it's not until like week 8 where he starts to tail off. So,
well, yeah, okay, I can hear that.
Well, with that being said, I'm just going to do it again live here, make my pick for the win, and it's Darius. And the next rivalry that we have on deck is Press of Death versus Reese's Reasonable something or another.
She need to change her team name. You can't come in here with the default name that they gave you. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then next thing you know, I got to hear about it because you're my kinfolk. Come on now, we gotta represent better than this, Sharice.
All I know is that if you got the name Reasonable, then you're already down on yourself. Now, based on the lineups that they have here, Ricky has a projected score of 128.47 to Sharice's 138.78. So this one is heavily favored to Sharice in the first week. And let's just take a look at the matchups. So you right off the bat, you have Ben Roethlisberger going against Patrick Mahomes. And as you can see here, this is where most of the points lie, because they're basically saying Ben Roethlisberger is going to have a tougher time against the Buffalo defense than Patrick Mahomes will have against Cleveland. And I wouldn't disagree there.
I wouldn't either. So but go ahead.
And then you have Calvin Ridley versus DK Metcalf. Calvin Ridley is winning that battle. Amari Cooper versus Terry McLaurin. Amari Cooper there's a lot of mouths to feed over in Dallas, whereas in Washington, not so much. It's Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, and then kind of guessing from there. So it's understandable why they have the projections in Terry McLaurin's favor versus Amari Cooper for week 1. Now, this is where the difference is between the two teams. Najee Harris may be getting undersold here with just 15 fantasy points. I feel as
just to
17
be honest,
points according to Yahoo.
17, yeah.
17 according to Yahoo.
Still.
But still, he may be getting undersold here. Mind you, it is against Buffalo, but I feel as though if he's not able to outscore Kareem Hunt, something went wrong. So, any thoughts on that?
On the matchup?
Yes.
Look, man, I'm looking at this, and a few things jump out to me. And obviously Patrick Mahomes versus Cleveland. I love Cleveland's defense. I do. I just feel like nobody really matches up against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So I can see this one being what they're predicting, 28. I don't know. We might score a little under that, but it's week one. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Andy Reid. You give Andy Reid this much time to prepare, we know what happens. All right. So it's going to be, I'm expecting a high scoring game. Ben Roethlisberger, 20 points. I believe that Buffalo is a great defense, and I like their individual talents at defensive back. So I do believe that they got that prediction right. Where I'm worried for Ricky here, Mr. Press of Death, is just mainly at the quarterback position and at the tight end position. I'm gonna just pronounce that shit as Freiermuth. Mm-hmm. But either way, he is playing in that number 2 tight end role with Pittsburgh. We know about the hierarchy. We know how this works. I don't know if he's going to see enough targets to even get the 7 points that is projected, Mark. So I think you could have a complete dud game. He could go scoreless, possibly. Maybe he gets a couple points. Like what you see, you got the Fantasy Pro projection there. I'm agreeing with the Fantasy Pros. I think he might get you 2 points. And I think right there is going to be the nail in the coffin for Ricky, because playing a week against Pat Mahomes and DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin, you're gonna need all the firepower you can get. And I feel like being, underscoring at 2 positions is really going to set him back. I do believe that Damian Harris is going to have a better week than they're giving him credit for. And I do feel like Melvin Gordon will not get the 11 points that he's projected. And I don't feel good about Robert Tonyan getting 12 points.
No.
So I think I am really leaning towards Reese winning this game, but I honestly believe the game will be a lot closer than they think. So okay. I got Reese winning this by maybe about 5 points.
All right. So I think we both are in agreement here. Although I will say that if I'm going to be wrong about a matchup this week, I think this would be the one that I would be.
Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a close game. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot closer than their projection. All right. So that's it for the rivalries that we have this week. The rest of the guys that are playing each other don't really have no beef. So, so next, I guess might as well get into my team. So now I do have the regular name. I haven't had time.
Got to do better, man.
Got to
do better, Mark.
Like, you tell me what Lancelot means, and then.
Don't worry about it. You find out come week 4. When my football team, the 49ers, start tearing shit up with Trey Lance at quarterback, then you'll understand what it means.
But this is fantasy, though, so
that's great that it's fantasy football. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got a bunch of names that don't mean shit. Okay, my name represents my real life team, Mark.
Wow. All right. Anyway, so. Looking at the teams, my team is set to make 138.35 points according to projections, and BK's auto pick team is scheduled to make 137.27 points. They have this as a pretty close game. Just looking at the side-by-side comparisons here, Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, if he's going, Jalen Hurts has the potential to actually blow this game up. I mean, it's Atlanta's defense, honestly. Like, I don't care what
Atlanta ain't got no defense.
Like, yeah, like they go out there and play cover zero spread eagle as.
I've once said that. Yes. Yep, cover zero spread eagle. That's what we calling it from now on, though. Yep.
So if Jalen Hurts is going to go off, this is his potential week to do so. Now, Kyler Murray, on the other hand, does go up against Tennessee, whose defense has gotten better. But it's not necessarily anything that to write home about. Like, you can score on them. It's just they're a middle of the road defense. Best is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But I have Devontae Adams in week 1 going up against New Orleans. New Orleans is known for their defensive backs, but it's Devontae Adams. Like, he's going to eat regardless, man. I don't know what they expect there, but A.J. Brown is going up against Arizona's defensive backs. And the fact that they no longer have Malcolm Butler because he was forced retired, A.J. Brown might have a field day. He very well may have a field day. So I don't know what's going to happen there. DJ Moore against Brandon Ayuk. The push goes to DJ Moore, in my opinion. Alvin Kamara against Antonio Gibson against Green Bay's defense. Alvin Kamara all day. They cannot protect against the run in Green Bay to save their life. So, got to give the nod to Alvin Kamara by quite a significant number. And then you have James Robinson against Michael Carter. And honestly, I think they're underselling James Robinson here, man. It's Houston. Like, Houston is in complete disarray. Nobody knows what's going on. And they already didn't have much of a defense before they went into disarray. So
we let me just interject right here. We saw what James Robinson did last year when he was a lead back.
Right. Exactly. Tyler, now this is where it gets close. Tyler Higbee going against Chicago versus Travis Kelce going against Cleveland. They have, I think Travis Kelce has the highest projection for a tight end, 22 points.
It's going to be like that all year, Mark. It's going to be like, wait, you see what he does in the red zone. He magically gets open with nobody on him. So, yeah.
He is projected to score what QBs are projected to score right now.
Actually, he's just him and Alvin Kamara are projected to score more than Jalen Hurts. It's ridiculous, Mark. Yes.
Right. So, that's his team right there. You know what I'm saying? Do you have anything to say about this matchup, sir, that I haven't already spoken of?
Okay, I feel like there's a lot of things that are wrong with these projections. I understand. One they got right for sure is Michael Carter. He's probably going to be splitting carries with Tevin Coleman.
For sure.
DeAndre Swift, I feel like they're a little bit out there with the 12 because I do feel like he will be splitting carries with Jamal Williams. They haven't said it yet, and they haven't spoken about it, but when you get a guy like Jamal Williams and what he's proven to be from last season with the Green Bay Packers, I'm just seriously doubtful that they're just going to say, hey, DeAndre Swift, you get injured all the damn time, and now we have this great running back behind you. We're going to make you take all the touches. No, I feel like he's going to be splitting, and I don't know if that 12-point projection is going to happen for DeAndre Swift. This is one of those situations, though, where there's a big gap, obviously, between Higbee and Kelce, and then you got the Kamara situation. I don't know, man. I honestly feel like this is one of those games where if BK gets the guys that he has, his top point getters, if they go off like they should, he could win this game. But I also feel like they're underselling Antonio Brown week 1 versus the Dallas Cowboys. The one thing that is very important to note is that Antonio Brown has an incentive-laden 1-year contract with the Tampa Bay Bucks that he signed this spring. And when I tell you that we have seen it in the past, Tom Brady will always make sure that his guys that have incentives reach their goals. He will make sure that happens. You know how excited Tom Brady was to get Antonio Brown on his team? He convinced Bill Belichick to pick him up after his crazy frozen foot charade and fucking with the Raiders with the helmet situation and everything. He convinced Bill Belichick to go get him. And then when that shit didn't pan out and they both end up teamless, he still like Antonio Brown was beating up girlfriends in the parking lot of his in the driveway of his fucking home and shit, throwing gummy worms and shit out of her, whatever the fuck he was doing, and sexual assault allegations with his personal trainer. And Tom Brady was like, "Yo, give me Antonio Brown." Okay?
Alleged.
So, I don't know, man. I would hate to pick a winner.
Make a pick, sir. Make a pick.
I hate to make a pick in this one.
Make a pick.
I'm gonna say I like all of the matchups that
just make a pick, man. Come on.
Let me look at it real
quick.
See,
this is like, yo, this is how you know your friend's a hater. Because he don't want
I'm not a hater, bro. Like, I'm looking at this shit.
You just don't want to pick me because it's me.
Look,
like,
no. I have to really look. I'm trying to give an unbiased opinion. An unbiased opinion, meaning I gotta take the friendship out of it, Mark.
The unbiased opinion is me.
Look, Mark, let me fucking go through my unbiased fucking process, man. And this is what I'm gonna say. I am going to pick Mark by maybe a margin of 1 or 2 points.
Thanks for your vote of faith.
Dog, I just caught unbiased opinion.
All right. So moving right along, we have Raw Dog Supreme versus Charles Championship Team. All right. And according to projections, Cedric's team, which is the Raw Dog, is set to score 137.54 points to Charles's 144.38 points. This is another matchup in which the projections flat out are saying one person is favored to win, and the other person, they pretty much are predicting to lose without wavering. So we're looking at the matchups here. You got Russell Wilson going up against Dak Prescott. I think this is a bit of a push between these two gentlemen. You have Robbie Anderson going up against Cooper Kupp. I'm heavily favoring Cooper Kupp, although Robbie Anderson has potential to go off. I just don't trust Sam Darnold. You have Tyler Boyd against Odell Beckham. Heavily favoring Odell Beckham. I feel as though Tyler Boyd is going to be pushed down, at least in the first couple of weeks, is going to be pushed down into the third person in the target share, simply because T. Higgins is really good and Jamar Chase is Joe Burrow's boy. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to deserve the targets that he's going to get, but he's going to get them. So then you have Nick Chubb going up against Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, because he catches the ball and he's not in a timeshare. Jonathan Taylor against David Montgomery. John Taylor is better, but David Montgomery doesn't really have anybody behind him too much. Well, Tariq Cohen is back. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. And so is Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack is back. We also don't know what that's look like. So I can't really call that one either. Kyle Pitts against Darren Waller. Darren Waller all day. Kyle Pitts' role is not defined yet. And then you have Chris Carson against Juju Smith-Schuster. Chris Carson. Shawn, anything to say?
Yeah. I have to look something up because I'm seeing that Jonathan Taylor has his projections look pretty gaudy, if you ask me, versus Seattle. 18 points versus, they think he's going to get 18 points versus Seattle. Look, man,
When has Seattle been known for their defensive line?
What I'm going to say is, okay, take Seattle out of this. With the amount of ball sharing that Indy does, do you think that Jonathan Taylor's going to get 18 points? With the amount of passing that they like to do in the red zone, do you think that Jonathan Taylor is going to get 18 points? I just don't. Marlon Mack being back, you think that Jonathan Taylor's going to get 18 points? I don't see it, Mark. I just don't see it. I think they're being way ridiculous with that projection. So for me, looking at these two teams lined up, I don't like Nick Chubb versus KC. These guys are going to be playing from behind. If they really want to open up the passing game, they have to. That means that Kareem Hunt is going to see a lot of field. I don't see how this turns into a game that Cedric can win. He has I think he has guys with high floors, but the ceiling just isn't there for week one. Unless you're hoping for, some chemistry between, Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson, but I feel like the guys that he has on his team that would have that high ceiling are just have bad matchups. Kyle, he better hope that Kyle Pitts does something. I don't know, man. I just don't like the matchups that he's seeing here. And you got Prescott versus Tampa Bay. You got Kupp versus Chicago. Odell, I don't think Odell's going to get as many points as they're projecting, but he'll get enough points to compete with Tyler Boyd, I believe. And then Dalvin Cook versus Cincy. What do we really think is going to happen there? I just think there's too much going on over here with Dalvin Cook, Darren Waller, and Dak Prescott. I mean, if you want to throw in Cooper Kupp and Beckham, you can, but I think Dak Prescott, Dalvin Cook, Darren Waller will be enough to get Cedric out of here. So I got Charles winning this one by a landslide, Mark.
All right, you and I agree on this pick. I feel so. Yeah, man. I think early prediction for the season here by me. I feel as though Cedric is going to run into a similar problem throughout the season, simply because of how he drafted. And for those, again, check out our draft coverage and you will see exactly how he ended up with wide receiver 25 and 26 as his first receivers taken. So I feel as though he's always going to run into a problem where his wide receivers are just showing as being weak compared to the opponent. And if Kyle Pitts doesn't work out to be exactly what Cedric is expecting him to be, then this team is falling apart very quickly.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, but yeah, he's relying heavily on, I believe, Kyle Pitts and Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
So he needs those guys to be what he believes them to be.
All right. So now, bringing up the last team of the week, we have We Not From 750 and Corey's championship team going up against each other. This is the current defending champion against the new booty in the group, as they would say. And We Not From 750 is set to make a score of 133.28 to Corey Champions team's 138.66. This is another matchup which is favoring one person versus the other a little bit more heavily than we've seen in the first couple of teams. And with this, they have a projection of Aaron Rodgers versus Lamar Jackson. They saying Yahoo has it as Aaron Rodgers winning that matchup, but Fantasy Pros has it as Lamar Jackson winning that matchup.
Oh, no, they both have it as Lamar Jackson. They have Aaron Rodgers at 25.
Oh, yeah, sure, right.
But it's definitely a lot closer according to Yahoo.
Right. Yes, it's definitely a lot closer according to Yahoo than what Fantasy Pros has it as. Mm-hmm. And then you have Allen Robinson versus Justin Jefferson. Robert Woods versus Julio. Zeke versus McCaffrey. And now here's an issue. Like, if he wasn't on CP time, maybe that right there would be a little bit more points because you would have had Derrick Henry, but because you didn't show up when you were supposed to, you got Zeke. So it is what it is. But against Tampa Bay's defense, we'll see what that new lean body will actually do. And you have Joe Mixon against Miles Sanders. That may actually be a bit of a push. I will favor Joe Mixon because he can actually catch. And Noah Fant versus Dallas Goedert. And Leonard Fournette versus Jamar Chase. Now, maybe Corey should change his team name to Butterfingers. Because I'm looking at 3 people on his list that are known to have an issue with dropping: Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, and Jamar Chase. These are 3 people that have dropped the ball a time or two, and I don't know what's going to happen there. But his saving grace is the fact that Christian McCaffrey is going up against the New York Jets. Like, that might be a 50-point day straight out the gate, week 1 for Christian McCaffrey.
Nah, man. Like, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Come on, say it. Speak up.
Look, man. Okay, let me just give you like who you got. I can give you my take. I'm gonna get you. I see you. It looks like you already picked Rodney. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give my take on this. Okay, so I'm gonna get there, Mark. Don't worry. Lamar Jackson versus Aaron Rodgers. I do think that's either going to be a push or I lean a little bit in Aaron Rodgers' favor. Allen Robinson, Justin Jefferson. I see that as the same thing. Justin Jefferson gets a nod there. Playing Cincy's defense, I think who knows what kind of day Justin Jefferson can have there, you know. And right. then you have Robert Woods versus Julio Jones. I don't know where the hell they're getting 16 points for Julio Jones at. But I don't know. He's listed as questionable, and it's because he's still fucking hurt, Mark. He's still hurt. I don't know where these 16-point projections are coming from for Julio. So right there, Mark, I think this is where Corey starts to lose the game.
Right.
Julio Jones might not even get you 6 in week 1 just because he's not even expected to play a full game, a full workload. So let's say Julio Jones.
He has been used as a decoy in games before. Like, he just goes out there, not necessarily to do anything.
All right, this is going to be another one of those days. So I think Julio Jones 60 points is not going to happen. Christian McCaffrey is absolutely going to have to score 50 points for Corey to win this game, is what I think. And to be honest with you, once again, maybe this is just a homer in me, because I believe that the Jets defense is going to be improved from last year. Do I think Christian McCaffrey is going to score 50 points? No. Do I think he can score 25 to 30? Yes, because he's Christian McCaffrey.
But I mean, 25 to 30 by Christian McCaffrey is just a normal outing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I do think the Jets defense is going to be better, and they think they're going to actually have a solid defense. But I don't care what kind of defense you have. Christian McCaffrey is going to get his points because they're going to run him 30 times and they're going to throw to him 15 times. Maybe that's going to be a little bit different with the new coach, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it is. So, no, but he loses this game of Julio Jones, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz is still playing. Who's getting these catches? Okay. And then you have Jamar Chase, which I have my questions about his catching ability at this point. So I don't know, man. I don't see how Corey wins this game. I don't think he has a chance in hell.
So right there, Rodney is picked for the winner of this week. And so we have our picks in for rivalry week 1. So we have Mark as picked to win number 1. Sharice is picked to win number 2. Did you pick Ricky here, or did you pick Sharice?
No, I picked Sharice.
Okay. And then I do have Shawn here as my pick, and I'm sure you wouldn't pick against yourself. So, and then we have Charles for winning against Cedric. This is where we disagree. I have Darius, you have Coach.
Yep.
And we both have Rodney winning against Troy, or Corey, if you will. That being said, I believe that is the end of our coverage for the week 1 schedule of the Trash Player League. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll be here all week to pick up on any further trash talk that may be said. Shawn, by the way, I am scheduled to link up with Tobias tomorrow to get his thoughts on some of your comments as of late, and also to see how he feels about the draft commentary as well.
And that's fine, that's good, because I'm gonna have some comments on my own mark. Don't worry.
Okay, good. And I don't have anything else to say. Shawn, you got anything else to say before we get out of here? With
that's it, man. Good luck to everybody week 1. We'll see how these predictions go. Tobias, team's garbage. GAHBAGGE. Garbage.
Okay. Wow, you don't even get the correct spelling. That's a shame.
Oh, garbage.
All right. So, with that being said, thank you. Peace. And